I figured that when you get down to the least common denominator, when you eliminate all the variables to experience one result. So we know that the first result, the right result, which is zero errors, is experiencing a one-on-one relationship with the one. Now that's easy for me to describe that and experience that as a polarity integrator with my oversoul doing the job that I do, right? And so the most simplest way that I know from a child's perspective, going back, how many years is that, Mama? 67 years or whatever, would be who you choose to have a relationship with. It's one thing to have a one-on-one relationship with a dead magnet, which is binary, finite deadlight, than it is to have a one-on-one relationship with the first law musician. To experience being one with one, which is three, which is trinary, not binary. So we're back to the contradiction, which means I'm living in a contradiction by having a relationship with a phone that represents something that's dead. Because there's me, which is one, and the mirror, which is a one, because it's one phone, but it's dead. So the contradiction is to have a relationship with something that's dead rather than having a one-on-one relationship that's eternal, the eternal living spirit of fire. I know. Sacrifices, sacrificing soul arc and energy to use a deadlight communication system to get the word out. That becomes the two-edged sword, see, of cutting off your nose to spite your face, right? Because the truth of the matter is that if they would have listened and followed the law to the documents that Karen put up when she did back in 2013, we would not be using these phones and these laptops. Did you know that? Because when you're using a communication system that's doing harm to us, then we're doing harm to others. And when you put this through the circulation library, the planetary memory banks of children that are connected to the motherboard, that is connected to the deadlight energy that we're using as a communication system, and we're using our soul arc and energy to keep it running, we're actually continuing, just as Sheriff Grady Judd had said, recirculating is re-experiencing the recordings, and our energy through this deadlight magnet means those children are losing fragments till their soul is gone from the spiritual torture that they've experienced. You see how that works in a dead mat binary QI system that is siphoning off soul's energy to keep it running? That's the Shark Tank that the Voyager materials were relaying to everybody through the indigos. So essentially what it boils down to is being pillars of light here and invoke the failsafe to keep the poles balanced, which I call it holding the fort down for the indigos coming in waves. I came in on the first wave, but then you had the subsequent waves, and why we're seeing so many other beautiful souls that are now coming out through these phones and their platforms using the same platform. Okay, but you see how much of that information is related to being with Mama, the rebirth of Mama. So as she's rising, we're rising with her to be with her, right? Mama's not a cell phone, right? Mama's not a laptop. She's not a desktop PC. Her spirit is in the planet, breathing fire, choosing the spirit to be with, the teacher and the planet, Mama.